Welcome back, guys, to hashtag AskBRP. We are on episode number 24. My name is Seth, and today, instead of doing a product review, I'm going to answer 3 questions that I often get when I tell people what I do for a living or try to explain the business. The first question I get is, how do I know that the item someone is trying to sell or pawn is not stolen? The second question is, how do I know that that same item is not fake, like a Rolex or a Louis Vuitton handbag? How can I tell that it's genuine? And finally, how do I know how much something is worth? How do I know how to value those specific items? So that's what I'm going to answer for you today, and we will do that next. So first, I want to talk about how I know an item is not stolen. The real answer to that question is I don't know. I will never know for sure when I'm buying something unless that item includes the original receipt with the person's name on it. But even then, I've seen items with fake receipts that people print up or buy online with a fake bag. So it's not always 100% that I'm going to know whether something is stolen or not. However, I can use clues to help me figure out whether I think it's stolen or not. Every once in a while, obviously, something will get through that happens to be stolen because I can't ever be 100% sure. For example, I can use a clue like this. If a young kid comes in with some older person's jewelry, some vintage jewelry, the chances are the excuse they're going to use is that their grandmother passed away and they left them this jewelry. I can't tell you how many times someone tells me their grandmother passed away and left them this jewelry. It's as if these people who steal jewelry Google, how do I get away with selling jewelry? And the first answer that comes up is, tell them it was your grandmother's. It's possible every once in a while that this actually does happen, where a grandmother passes away and leaves some jewelry, but maybe 1 in 100 times. Every other time, in my opinion, the items are stolen. Also, another clue is when someone is very, very anxious or very pushy to get rid of whatever they have. If I make them an offer and or if I don't make them an offer and they're very insistent on selling it, they really need the money, blah, 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 chances are they just want to get rid of it and out of their hands because they know it's stolen. So in the end, I rely a lot on my intuition. There's really no telltale sign to know that something is stolen 100%. So the second question is, when I'm buying something, how can I be sure that it is not fake? The answer to this question in some ways is similar to the previous question, except that if I'm wrong and I buy something stolen, it's not technically the end of the world. The victim always has the opportunity to buy the item back, so we're not necessarily out the money that we spent on the stolen item. However, if you buy something fake, then there's no recouping the money because the item's fake and you can't sell it as a real item because it's not. So you have to be more sure in this situation. So the first thing, obviously, I rely on, again, is my intuition. I've seen so many watches and I've felt so many different handbags and I've seen a lot of diamonds, and so you pick up on certain things that need to be right about certain items. So as soon as you see something that's not right, usually you can tell. If it's a super, super good fake or something I can't tell right away just by looking or feeling it, I Google it. Google is a huge advantage in these days for pawnbrokers because you can compare genuine items, the pictures of certain parts of the bag or certain parts of a watch, and compare it to the one you have in front of you. And the thing is, with high quality luxury goods like that, is the real ones, they put so much time and effort into each piece that, like on a Rolex, the crown will be in a certain place. It won't even be a millimeter off, and this and that. So you can look at the one you have, compare it to the one online, and if one thing is out of place, then you know the bag is fake. So to make a long story short, I first go with my intuition. If something doesn't feel right, I just take a pass. If it's something I'm really not sure about, I look it up online and go from there. So finally, the last question I get a lot is, how do I know how much something is worth? Well, the short answer is I kind of know most items that come in here just by looking at it off the top of my head. Most watches that I see, especially Rolex, I know the value just from experience. I got that experience from seeing so many different watches and looking them up and comparing them with others, say on Google or eBay. So that's really how I can figure out the value. If you're looking for a loan and you want to know how much I can lend you, a lot of that is just determined on how much you need. Well, most people that come in to my pawn shop for a loan have a bill they need to pay, or they're late on their mortgage, but they have some sort of idea of how much money they need. So as long as they have the goods that are worth that amount of money that they need, then I can lend it to them. So it's not that easy. It's not that hard. It's actually pretty easy. Selling stuff to me is a bit different because then I really need to understand the true value of how much I can sell it for. Again, most of the items that I see, like a Louis Vuitton handbag or Rolex watch, I already know just from doing this for close to 6 years. But if I don't, I do the same just like I do when I don't know if something's real or fake. I Google it, I put it on eBay, I go on other sites like Tradesy or ShopHers, and I compare, and I see what they're selling for, what percentage of them actually sell, how many do sell, how many don't, and then I can try to get a value from there. Obviously, it's kind of a feel. You have to be good at feeling people out and seeing, if it's a hot item that's going to sell right away, or something that's going to sit on the shelf for a while. So it's a lot of experience mixed with a lot of Googling. So that's it, guys, for episode 24. Hope you learned a little bit more about what I do and how I figure things out. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. Our handle is one word, Boca Raton Pawn. Check us out on Snapchat for some more behind the scenes stuff. Our username there is BRP Luxury. And you can always like us on Facebook and check out all our blog posts. That's facebook.com/Boca Pawn Shop. And that's it for this week. We will see you next time.